Hello and welcome to part one of this amazing spine corrector flowing class. So you're going to start on your back. So this has got flexion in it, so anybody who's got any flexion pathologies, not for you. It's kind of an intermediate kind of class. So you're going to come and snuggle in to your spine corrector with your tailbone reaching in that direction, and just let your feet rest on top of the box. Have your thighs dropping in to your hip sockets and your sacrum heavy into the mat. Just come into a little bit of breathing. Eye line up to the ceiling. So you're going to breathe in. Feel your chest and abdominals expand, and breathe out. And feel them just soften away from your hands. Just that 2 more times. Breathing in, feeling that expansion in all directions, and breathing out. Resting the heel of the hands on the hip bones. Allow your pelvis to just rock forwards and backwards around the legs. Feeling that lovely movement ripple up through the spine. Wait for the head to feel that it could join in. Resting into center, just allow the back of the pelvic half to sink down into the mat to invite the other side up, and then roll across the pelvis. Feel the sinking down of the pelvic half to invite the other one up. And be quite precise and mindful about trying to go across the back of the sacrum, and then feel the down of the movement, and from that you'll get the up. And then have a look at your legs. So it's not your legs swaying from side to side, it's your pelvis moving around your legs, and then from that you get this amazing feel and sense of rotation all the way up the spine. And again, it might be that your head, your cervical all gets invited into the movement, or it might not, but wait and see if it does. Relaxing back into center, allowing your sacrum to be heavy. Notice your feet resting on top of the mat, your shoulder blades melting like butter, and you're going to stand onto the arc and let your pelvis come up to the ceiling. Send your shin bones forward and over, chest melts, and then just allow yourself to come back down onto your mat. Leave the tailbone heavy and unraveling. And again, use your down to find your up. So I think about my feet sinking and my shins reaching forward, and my pelvis floats up and my spine peels. And then I'm going to come back down and unravel. I need this today, I've been biking. So wait for that moment of the invitation again. At the top this time, check in that you've got space underneath your chin. Let one hip just drop a little bit lower than the other and come down center, but that side of your spine. Still reaching your tailbone long and away. Roll away and around the back of the pelvis and take off up the other side of the spine, and then level off at the top. So you can do the other side. I'm letting my left hip drop. I'm reaching my tailbone away, and I'm letting my spine come back down to the mat. I circle around and off the end of the tailbone at the end, and then I feel my feet sink to invite my pelvis up, and then I come back to center. I'm going to do that a couple more times. So I stand into like one foot more than the other. Use the breath. When you find them kind of tighter spots, And then knees are still central, spine central. But because I've allowed one side of my pelvis to drop a little bit, I just come up through one side of my pelvis, all the way back down. Nice job. So from there, we're going to take the legs either side of the arc, stand into the feet and reach the thigh bones forward, and then just come and slide your arc underneath so that your chest is still sinking and you're kind of hugging the sides of the arc with your thighs. And just do a little bit of breathing here and see if you can breathe in again to the back of the body. Make sure there's no weight on my head, it's on my shoulders. I'm keeping my thighs connected to the spine correct and my feet are spreading. And I'm just breathing into the back of my rib cage, chin away from the chest, just a little correction there. I'm going to stand into my feet and come a little bit further up and see if I can now find that I'm on top of my spine corrector. For most of you, you'll be able to reach towards the end of the rings, or you can come around the side. And then again, bring one leg up, feel that your tailbone could reach away, bring the other leg up, head directly up to the ceiling, and just breathe into the back of the body. You want to feel that your shoulder blades are spreading into the mat, collarbones are wide, the back of the rib cage is resting into the arc, and the sacrum is not tucked, it's resting into the peak of the arc as well. And I'm just going to come into a femur arc, so I'm going to reach one thigh forward and down, and it's like I'm going to bring the heel to the other side of the arc. I'm going to breathe out and breathe in, breathe out and breathe in. I'm checking that the weight's into my shoulders and that I'm not on my head, on my neck. And I'm just teasing a little bit more length out of the front of the thighs, moving the legs without tucking the pelvis. And then going to place one foot all the way down now and find kind of the bridge of the arc. Can you see that my foot, ball of the foot, is just resting on top, and the other foot is, the toes are kind of trying to spread and settle. And then here, I've just got to check in that I've not arched away from the arc now. Head in position and shoulders spreading. And I'm just going to breathe, because that's quite a lot of reach from that thigh. And then I'm going to take the other thigh down and let that foot settle and see if that I can still stay connected in to my arc. If you can't, then you need to put a block and raise your feet up a little bit to start with. So I'm going to stand into one foot and let the other leg float on up, and I'm going to arc the thigh through space, find the foot, press up. I'm kind of pulling with my, like a bird on a perch, with my foot on the floor on the arc towards me, and letting this leg float up. So it's like a sink and a scoop, and the other leg just happens. And as I'm doing that, can I keep heavy into my arc? So that is the focus, that I'm not arched through my back, my collarbones are wide, my shoulder blades are wide, and you feel this, that the legs are really having to find the length through the front of the body. This is how it is in bridge, yeah, but we're in a supported bridge right now. And then stay with the legs back up, let the tailbone soften again, and we're going to go into kind of like a feet and strap scenario. So I want you to flex your feet and pull the little toes back towards you, and then you're going to reach the arches of the feet forward, and then prise the knees open, the sitting bones open to come back. reach the arches of the feet to zip up the legs and pull the knees apart to come back, and just get used to that. So if you can, there we go, rib cage down. If you can keep connected here, it's like, it's a sense that you're kind of pulling these apart a little bit, and you can just decide which one you're on. You've got to give weight to your tailbone. If you're a tucker, what you'll do is you'll keep sliding off the arc. So it's a really kind of good place to practice these kind of exercises. So we're going to go here. Now I'm going to reach one leg long and bend one leg in, and just see if both legs can kind of communicate that movement at the same time. I'm down with my rib cage. I'm on the back of my head, my chin away from my chest, it is now. And I'm breathing, and I'm staying connected in my rib cage and hips. Weight to the shoulder blades. Let go of any unnecessary tension. See if you could just yield and sink with your spine while your legs move freely and away. Bring the legs in. We're going to do helicopter. So you're going to reach your legs in a staggered place. And here, rather than this leg really drop away, can you find that place where you lengthen equally from with both kind of inner seams of your legs? So you've got to kind of pull back with one maybe and let the other one find a little bit more. So we do a scissor and a scissor, and then we do a circle to swap them around. We do a scissor and a scissor, and then we circle to swap. And as you're scissoring, again, be really precise that you're sharing the slack. So I want mobility, but I also want stability as well. So I'm not doing really big circles. I'm controlling my circles, and I'm keeping my pelvis heavy on the arc. Shoulder blades are spreading, and I'm feeling kind of really enjoying the weight of like my legs deep into their pelvis. Let's do one more here. Scissor, scissor, length through your inner seam so you're staying them trapped high, and then bring up. And then we're going to do circles. And I want, if you've ever been on a reformer, feel that your feet are in the straps and you're busting out and over the straps. And as the legs go out, you're going to exhale and keep that rib cage on the mat. So you've got to find length through the pelvis, through the front of the pelvis, to be able to find that movement in the legs, change direction without the rib cage lifting off. So your body is staying stable and your legs are moving freely. I'm either connecting in to the arc with, I'm kind of like imagining I've got newspapers underneath my armpits, so my fingers are reaching and I'm hugging the arc with my arms so that I keep wide through my collarbones and connected. And as my legs get heavy, I kind of give my armpits a little hug towards the reformer, the spine corrector. Nice job, everyone. Bring the legs in without tucking the tailbone and breathe. So I'm going to bring one leg down again and just notice how that feels, and the other leg down. And I'm just going to readjust a little bit and wiggle, being careful so I can come a little bit further into my arc again. Sometimes I've got lycra on, I'm lycra up today, so you kind of, you do drop off. And then just notice how it is to be in your bridge now here. Did you find a little bit of a better connection with arms and feet and all of that goodness there. And then we're going to do one more here. Bring one leg up, bring the other leg up, leave the tailbone heavy, and you're going to bring one arm up to the ceiling. So opposite arm and leg goes away and then comes in. And you just reach and swap your arms and see if, again, you keep connected. I'm just going to do two more, and with the barrel with the arc as you do that. Reaching out. Try one more. Nice job. Going to bring the legs down either side of the arc. Stand into the feet and just let your spine ripple and unwind down the mat. So your tailbones at the end. Going to place the feet back on and breathe into the back of the body. It'll feel like you're just sinking back now. It'll feel amazing. And then just check in to see how much more movement and how much more ease you've got in your bridge. Amazing. Interlink the fingers, bring them behind the head, have your thumbs running down the length of your neck and your arms deep in their sockets. Take the eye line up to the ceiling and then just have a moment to let your sacrum sink, tailbone pointing long towards the spine corrector. So I want you to physically, with your hands, lift your head up and look to your pelvis. And then just come back down. So you're not going to lift your head, your hands are going to pick up the head. The elbows arc around and through space and you just look down at your pelvis. To the tip, I'm on the tip of my shoulder blades. And then I'm going to breathe here. I'm going to breathe into the back of my body. And then as I breathe out, really feel that the front of the rib cage melts and disappears to the back of the body. Breathe into the back of the rib cage. Breathe out. And let everything soften and go. And then I'm just going to rotate and roll on to that shoulder blade. I'm still picking the head up, still looking down towards the mat. And it's this left armpit that reaches for the outside of that leg. And then I'm going to go the other side. And I'm going to really focus on rotating and wringing out with my upper back. So you roll across the mid rib cage onto one shoulder blade, and then I roll across the rib cage onto the other shoulder blade. My elbows are pointing around so that my shoulder blades are like snug on the back of my rib cage. So I don't like roll onto a uncomfortable pointy kind of shoulder blade. And then my pelvis stays central. It's rotation of my upper back, and then just come down for a second and kind of re-evaluate length through my neck. Thumbs are running down the back of my head. I feel a lot longer in my spine now. So I'm gonna pick up the head with my hands, look to my navel and look for it and follow the gaze and roll to the tip of the shoulder blades. Leaving your tailbone long, you're going to roll and come back to center now. And really again, focus on rotation. Wring out the upper back as much as you can. And then we're going to go the other way. One foot heavy on the top of the spine corrector. And I want you to reach that leg, but don't rest on the spine corrector. Come across and reach. So we're really using the spine corrector to find really precise movement. My legs stay in alignment, my pelvis stays center, and I'm rotating around and over the angle of the arc. Good job. So I'm going to come around and roll up, and that is the first part of your spine corrector class. Second part is coming up, so you can just flip to part 2 of spine corrector on your mat for this month and carry on with me. I'll see you the other side.